Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode 7 of the Ducati 899 rebuild. There's still quite a few things we need to do, and it's exciting because we've got lots of parts that are getting ready to go on the bike. In today's episode, we're going to be servicing the forks. We're also going to be fitting the exhaust system you see behind me. In this box next to me, I've got lots of OEM Ducati parts that over the last few weeks, me and my brother have been buying off of eBay. In there are stuff like rear sets, handlebars, clip-ons, fork yokes, rear lights for the bike, and just lots of other bits and bobs that we've been buying. It's starting to get really exciting because all of the stuff that I've been fixing up over the last few weeks is all coming together. And now it's the satisfying part where we can start putting it together and getting it on the bike. Also in today's video, we're going to be sorting out our gold powder coated wheels. In one of the previous episodes, I got the wheels back from the powder coaters and the bearing housing was damaged. So over the last few weeks, we've been trying to sort the wheels out. It was really important to get this build going that we got the bearing housing fixed on the wheels. So I'm glad it's done now. But anyways, enough of me rambling on. Let's get on with the video and let's start building up this Ducati. Next on the list, we're doing a fork service. Over here, I've got good quality fork oil, and I've also got a OEM Ducati fork seal kit. So to do a service on these forks, you really need a vise, but we don't have one in here. So we're thinking about using the triple tree on the bike to clamp the fork down so we can take the top cap off and use it kind of like a vise.
Top nut off, pour the oil out, and then this little baddie goes in.
And that is the fork service. New seals and fluid in both of them. It was quite easy, it went well. And this was really the last major job on the bike that needed doing. So now that the forks are ready to go back on the bike, it means we can start putting the wheels back on the bike, which means we can start putting the brakes back on the bike, rear sets, and a few other bits and bobs. Really excited now because we're getting super close to building the bike back up. There's been so much work done to this bike off camera. So for example, the bolts in this triple tree, they were all black and rusty. I've cleaned them all up. Yesterday off camera I fitted this radiator cover. I bought it off eBay for about 15 quid and it makes the bike look so much cleaner. I actually got a top one as well, that was 15 quid as well. So 30 quid for the radiator covers in a set makes the bike look so much better. I'm going to try and put a little clip in now of a before and after. So this is what the radiators look like before. There was an old radiator cover on there that looked horrible and old, but really happy with how much the difference the radiator covers have made. I've used this stuff as well, XRP rust blocker on the plastic. It works really well on bringing out the oils in old plastic. So if you have old plastic trim bits that are black, you spray some of this XRP rust blocker and it makes them look really clean. To make sure we're building the bike properly, I've downloaded the owner's manual, but more importantly, I've downloaded the workshop manual. This is going to be super helpful when it comes to putting the bike back together because it tells you all the correct procedures and what order to put things in. There's also a list of all the greases and thread locks that you need to put the bike back together. It's quite a long list. Over here to the right, I've got all the greases, the thread locks and the retaining compounds that are needed to put the bike back together. In the owner's manual, it shorthands them and labels them as lock 1, lock 2, and that's why you see over here I've got them all labelled. Because this way it makes it really easy just to look at the manual. It says lock 1 and you just pick up lock 1. Over here is a combination of copper greases, normal high temperature assembly grease, a bunch of retaining compounds and then Loctites. So yeah, the owner's manual can come in really handy when it comes to certain procedures and the sequences of doing certain things up. A lot of it's common sense, but with the owner's manual you can just double check that what you're doing is right. Because if you don't do things up in the right procedure, you can put a lot of stress onto parts. A good example is the exhaust. If you don't tighten the exhaust up in the right procedure, it can put a lot of stress on it and end up cracking the exhaust. This is the same for suspension components and other stress parts of the bike. So if you see me putting the bike back together and haven't yet torqued up the bolts, it's because I'm going to leave certain things loose and then go over it at the end. So I'm doing everything up in the right sequence and the right way. Also, in today's video, we're going to be reassembling the gold wheels that I got painted in the last episode. We found it really hard finding a machine shop that would be able to help us with the bearing housing being too large. A lot of places we went to recommended using a retaining compound. So I went and brought this Loctite 638. It's like a high strength bearing retaining compound. Basically like a really strong glue to glue bearings into their housing. So instead of having to get the wheels machined out or to get shims machined and made up, which can be quite expensive and complicated and come with other issues. Some of the other problem we had with opening up the bearing housing even more than it was the other hardware, like the seals and the wheel spacers wouldn't have fitted, and it kind of would have just created more problems than if we had just kept the original size bearing housing. Another option was to buy smaller bearings, keep the housing the same size and just use shims to fill out the gap. And to be honest, if this bearing compound doesn't work and it gets to the point where we have to throw the wheels away, then we'll try using a smaller bearing with some shims as a last. One of the reasons why we didn't want to use a bearing retaining compound in the beginning was because we was a bit worried about the bearings not being centered. When you use a bearing compound, sometimes the bearings can sit a little bit off center, and because they're motorcycle wheels, we thought it's going to be really hard to balance them if the bearings ain't in the right position. That's enough of me explaining about the bearings and the wheels. Down there, I've got a box full of parts, so I'm going to reassemble the wheels. And that is the new forks fitted on the bike. I also went ahead and put the top yoke and the handlebars back on. It's really exciting because soon we're going to be able to start putting all of the handlebar controls back on. When we bought this bike from the auction, the left handlebar switch was smashed off, but we managed to pick one up off of eBay in pretty good condition for about £30. One of the good things about this bike was it come with quite good racing bits. So these racing Brembo levers are quite expensive. I've got new grips coming and it's really exciting because we're going to soon be putting all of these bits back onto the handlebars. I also went ahead and got tyres fitted onto the wheels. They've been balanced, which is really good. These wheels have had a lot of work done on them. They've had new bearings, bushings, all of the hardware's been replaced. They've got new valve stems, so I can't wait to get these on the bike. Now that the forks are on the bike, it means we can start putting the brakes back on. We've got new brake pads for the rear. We kept the old ones because they've still got quite a lot of life left in them. But all of this hardware's been cleaned up and I can't wait to get that on the bike as well. This is the rear brake bracket. Originally it came with these two bolts. They were odd bolts and they was in pretty bad condition. But I've replaced them with good quality new ones. These are actually KTM bolts, so don't crucify me in the comments, but they're a bit better quality. So these two things are the swing arm bolt caps. They're an aftermarket part, and originally they had the metallic red paint that all of the parts on the bike were covered in. We weren't sure of the condition, but I stuck some paint strip on them and they come out like this. To be honest, they're a little bit tacky, and I was debating on whether to put them on the bike, but because I've already got them, I don't fancy buying a new pair. I do think they look a bit tacky, but they're in quite good condition and nothing goes there, so I think they look better than nothing. So we're going to keep them. And I guess they keep this hole from getting water in them and getting a bit rusty and corroded. Because this part here, you actually see when all the fairings and panels are on the bike, this little bit sticks out. So that's why this is quite a popular mod. But before I start putting any of these exciting bits back on the bike, I've got a few boring things to do, like cleaning up the old suspension linkage. This is the rear suspension linkage off the bike. It was really dirty, I've given it a clean. This is what it looked like the other day. Just like all the other parts on the bike, it was covered in grease and dirt. But now, I've given it a wash and it's cleaned right up. The plan is to separate the red from the silver bit, put it in paint stripper, clean it up, and then hopefully stick it back on eBay and get some money back. I'm only doing this so I can resell this piece and get a bit of money back, so it's kind of not even worth it in a way, but I've started now, so I'm just going to finish it. And that is the rear suspension linkage finished. I've stripped the paint off of it. It come out pretty good. I'm going to put it on eBay to try and get some money back. This is the bracket for the right hand side rear set. We're going to put that on eBay as well because we've got 2 of them. Pretty happy with how it come out. We're going to put these parts on eBay to try and get some money back. And that is it for today's episode, guys. If you've made it this far, then thank you very much for watching. I'm standing in front of the bike right now because we've already started on the next episode and I don't want to reveal anything that we've been doing. As I've already said lots of times, it's starting to get really exciting now because all of the stuff we've been doing over the last few weeks is starting to go back on the bike. In the next episode, we're going to be putting all of the rest of the bits back on the bike. We're also going to be going online and having a little look at the panel kit I want to buy. And it's just fun because now we're starting to get all the bits back on the bike. Hopefully I'm doing a good job at covering it up and you can't see too much. That is it for today's episode and I'll see you in the next one.